Hello. I wanted to jump in and give you a quick update on where we are with Hey Monika, because there is loads of exciting stuff happening behind the scenes. And I've just come off of a call with one of our customers who said, as somebody who's used the product over a year ago when we started this project, it has, I think it's okay to sort of paraphrase here. And she said, it's, dramatically improved. And that really filled my heart because, I've spent a lot of time working on like, how do we make this really work well? I want this to be the best product on the market for work experience, and this is my baby and I care about it deeply. So I want to hear from you. If something isn't working how you would like, please reach out, because we do want to know and we want to fix it. I'm just going to give you an update on what's happening right now. So it's actually a hackathon long weekend. So Sundays and Mondays, once a month, generally, the team will get together. Sometimes we do that in person. This time we're online, and we work through various priorities that we've got right now with the business. What we're doing at the moment is making sure that we have released a number of scenarios and challenges that are kind of stuck in quality assurance review. But we're also building Voicemode, which I know I've been talking about a lot, but I'm hoping I can give you a preview of that today. And I wanted to show you another couple of things that are going on right now. So first of all, what are we doing right now? We have got a number of scenarios that we want to release. Now, if you have been a previous user of Hey Monika, you might know that many of our scenarios, and just to clarify the difference, a scenario is where you work end to end with a fake client on a specific piece of work. So that might be their month-end accounts or their VAT return or payroll or something like that. When you are working with a fake client in a scenario, in the beginning, we started to build these around Xero, and the idea was that you would set up a trial account with Xero so you could do the work, but it would mean that every time you started a scenario, you would need to start a new account from scratch. And that isn't really how it works. Often when you're taking on clients, they've been a client for a while, or they've been using software for a while, and you just want to get stuck in, sort things out, do the job. So what we've done over the last couple of months is build out an accounting platform which we can pre-populate with information for each of the scenarios, so you have a very realistic environment of working in a ledger with the various tabs and reporting that you need, so that you can do a very true to life piece of work and you understand the sort of transactions that are happening behind the scenes. So that is something that's changed, and what it's meant is that we've gone through our base of scenarios and we're updating them and bringing them up to date. So I'm going to start over there. I'm going to go into scenario mode, and what you will see is if we have updated a scenario, it will have an updated label on it, so it should be really clear which are new. We have now got a brand new Adele. We've got a month end and a year end scenario. So the month end, you're working through her June 2026 accounts. She's got some queries about expenses to claim. There are some invoices to raise. There's a bank rec to do. And in her year end, you are raising invoices, doing the bank rec. She's got some expense queries again, and it covers a much longer period of time. I think there are maybe 70 items in the bank rec. There are some rules to set up, or some rules to check and correct and things like that as well, and some adjustments around the year end. And she's also got some questions about how much money she's taking out of the business. And in the year end scenario, you also do a kind of quick draft calculation of what her tax bill might look like, so that you can keep the client informed about how things are going. So we've got those two new Adele scenarios built out now. Now these two Amie Demo Company, these are built around the demo company within Xero. These two are actually about to be retired. We have rebuilt the Amie scenario using a different avatar for Amie as well. One of the limitations of building everything from scratch yourself with no funding is that the platform we've used to generate some of these video avatars for our fake clients sometimes get retired. So Amie has a new look, just like Adele has a new look if you're familiar with the original Adele. But Amie's Demo Company scenario, I think, is much cleaner and easier to follow. We've added videos in to support you at every step of the process, so you will see a new Amie popping up on the scenario dashboard really soon. We've gone through and we've updated Olly and Freddie. These are both spreadsheet skills, and I think Olly is selling eco products online. He wants to understand whether he should invest in a certain area of marketing, and he wants to do a bit of analysis between different regions he's selling in. Freddie's got some analysis that he needs as well. He wants some ratios and other information as well. So these are a really good way to practice some of those spreadsheet skills that will help you if you're dealing with lots of data, which generally we are if we're dealing with any kind of online sales platforms. Graham and Roger are ready for a review. So these have been built in around Xero. I think we could do something much better with these if we were to move them over to their own software, just like we have with Adele and Amie. So, sorry, with Adele, not Amie. Amie's still the demo company. Watch out for that coming soon. These scenarios still stand. Go ahead and use them. And I'll tell you about your work experience record in a moment, because that will be something you can also put on your work experience record, as with all of the others. We've got an anti-money laundering checks challenge scenario here with Jessica. Selena has been updated. I'm very aware that we have already gone past the sign-up date for Making Tax Digital, so this might not be completely relevant right now. Hopefully your clients who are signing up for Making Tax Digital have already done that. But if you want to deal with a challenging customer who doesn't really want to do MTD but is mandated, Selena is the one to look at. And this is a really good way to understand the scope and the rules and who it applies to, and what that person actually has to do. We've got an onboarding scenario here with Thomas. Vanessa, I think this is due a review as well. This is also built around Xero. I think we can do something better in her own platform. It still stands, but look out for that one being updated in the future. And then we've also got Eleanor, which is a VAT return for the flat rate scheme. So there's lots of scenarios here where you can go in and practice various skills, and you'll see them with updated labels over time as they get updated. Before I move on, I'm going to show you the work experience record. So if you go to heymonika.com and /CV, we now have a screen on our website where you can fill in your work experience record. Now, just to give you some context on this, we spent a long time wondering whether we need to have CPD accreditation for Hey Monika scenarios, and I will be completely honest and frank with you. The reason we haven't pursued that is really comes down to cost. This is a bootstrapped company. We build it around, there are founders who are running their own businesses as well, and there isn't a lot of time or cash here at the moment. We are just reinvesting what we're earning back into building the product and sprints to build things out like Voicemode. But we also recognize that you want to have a way to track the work that you've been doing in Hey Monika. Now, what's great is I've had lots of feedback from customers who have said to me, I submitted a list of the things I've done in Hey Monika when I was applying for a job, or I've used that to give me confidence in pitching for a piece of work. And I think that's brilliant. But how do we give this to you in a way when, particularly if you're new to the industry, you might actually find it quite hard to articulate what you did or the value of the work that you did. So we've built this out for you. You get now a work experience record. Head to heymonika.com/CV. And what you can do, I don't think I'm able to share my screen with you actually, but what you can do is when you complete a scenario, like I have completed this Adele year-end one, on the completion screen, you're given a code, and that code can be typed into your CV, and then you can download, print, save, download, whatever you want to do with it, an A4 document that lists out the scenarios you've attached. It mentions that it's a training platform, Hey Monika, and then lists out what kind of skills you've covered in that work, so that you have a really clear view of, well, actually, do you know what? I can do that thing. I can do that thing. So we're building that out, and every time we release a new scenario, we make sure we add that in as well. I want to show you Voicemode because I've mentioned it lots of times. So I'm going to jump into this scenario with Adele. I'm going to go into her year-end one, and I'm just going to resume and pick up where I left off when I was sort of doing this last time. But just so you know, some of these scenarios have questions which have videos attached to them. So I am zoomed in, yeah. So what happens in some of the questions, just so you can see your way around, you get this kind of section where you work through the different activities. So for Adele, invoicing purchases, dealing with other transactions, finalise the accounts, and then answer her questions about a tax estimate. We also have help videos that you can watch for each question. So if I didn't know how to do this, I could watch a video which talks me through everything that I need to know to answer the question in the way that we've answered the question. We've also got a document vault, which is where the client shares files with you. On advice or on request from one of our customers, for some of these scenarios, so far I've done it for Adele and the new Amie, which hasn't been released yet. We've also added in a step-by-step guide. Now I don't know if that's going to show in the screen that I'm recording here, but there's a PDF step-by-step guide, and we're looking into whether this adds value for you working through the scenario, because some people wanted to check their trial balance as they worked through the scenario. So if that is something that is good for you, reply to this message or comment under here and let me know if you think this would be helpful for you. In this sort of section here, this is where you answer multiple choice questions as you're working through the scenario. So here we've got a question where Adele has got a voicemail about some travel costs. So let's have a listen to that.
Hi, it's Adele. I hadn't really thought about this until you asked your question about my other expenses, like home and travel. Last August, you know I did that work for Novatech Solutions? Well, they're in Edinburgh, so I had to fly. And then I had flights again in September when I went to support them with their new starters at the last minute. Because it was the summer holidays, I took the kids in August. I just put it on my credit card and didn't think about it again. But I think those must be business expenses. I've dug out the invoices. I paid £696 return to fly in August. That was £232 per person. And then when I went on my own in September, it was £96 return. Got to love term time for the cheaper flights. Can I claim those expenses as well, please? Thanks.
Okay, well, let's look at this one since we're going to test out voice mode as well. So we've got a video question here. The question says, Adele's left us a voicemail about some travel costs. If these are business expenses, we can add a journal to the accounting software to reflect the cost. Can she claim them as business expenses? First thing I thought would be worth showing you is that if I go into the client profile, which is where I find out, I see this right at the beginning of a scenario, we get a description of the business and what they do. And under here, you can see that we can access her accounting software. So this takes you into the platform that we've built to work with this scenario. It's got all of Adele's information in it. So you can just click there. You don't have to log into anything. It lives locally in your browser, and you can do the work. And there are instructions on how to do that in the document vault, but that's how I would access the software. And you are flagged. This is flagged to you at the beginning of the scenario. It's flagged in the first question. You can always find it in the client profile. But what I need to do here is understand who traveled, right? She said she took the kids. And that to me straight away says not a business cost, or not completely a business cost. So I do think the answer is yes, in part, she can claim it as a business expense. But I'd like to chat to her and understand a little bit more. Now, what we've always had in Hey Monika is the way to communicate with the client. This used to be called chat to the client. It's now called message to the client. And that's because it looks like a messenger chat. So I can type things in here and I can ask Adele various questions. We are going to turn that into an email functionality. That is something for a later build. At the moment, what we're doing is getting voice mode right. So what we've got, and you're looking at my, I don't know how to describe this, my kind of, would you call it a sandbox? I don't know. This is like the developer side of things, like how I can see things before they're released. But it's got all the features in, and we haven't released Phone the Client yet, but we will really soon. I'm just talking to the team about how we get this across the line. The main problem for me right now is that some of our scenario characters need to have a backstory, because they need to be able to talk to you about documents that they're maybe sharing in the document vault. So, for example, Adele has some purchase invoices here. I need to make sure that if you were to phone the client, she understands what's in all those purchase invoices and what they were for. And that wasn't something that we necessarily needed to do before, when it was just a message to the client. So so that's what we're building. That's what's taking the time. But to give you an idea, probably we've covered about half of the scenarios have now got these voice prompts built into them. So we're just working through the rest of them. I'm going to phone her and I'm going to ask her about her travel.
Hello, Adele Sorensen speaking.
Oh, hi Adele, it's Zoe, your accountant here. How are you?
I'm doing well, Zoe. Thanks for calling. How are things with you?
Oh, I'm good, thanks. Pleased to hear you're doing okay as well. I just wanted to check in with you about these travel expenses. So you told me that you flew to Edinburgh for work, you flew in August with the kids, and you flew in September. You've got 2 children, haven't you? So am I right to think that your expense for that August flight was £232?
Yes, that's right. My son and daughter were with me, so that would be three of us in total. It was £696 for the return flights.
Okay, and then when you went in September, did you travel on your own?
Yes, that was a solo trip. Just me.
Okay, and which client were you visiting?
That was for Novatech Systems.
Okay, great. No problem. Well, what I think I should do here is put in, I think what we can do is put a journal in so that we can include that expense in your travel expenses, and I'll offset that against your capital introduced, I suppose. So I'm going to put a journal in to make sure we've got that adjustment and your profit is correct.
Oh, that sounds like a good plan, Zoe. I trust you to handle it.
Okay, great. I will leave you to it. Thanks for the chat.
Lovely, thanks. Speak soon.
Bye. Great. So when I get to the end of that call, and hopefully you feel like that is a much more sort of realistic way that we would communicate with the client. So I would go in and I would answer that question. And then when I get to the end of the scenario, what I think is very exciting is that I then get feedback on my conversation skills. So I get a score in terms of how Monika felt I handled that conversation. And I also get some feedback on things that I might do better. So I'm very aware that I'm quite nicey and I can fluff around a little bit in terms of asking for what I want, and she's very likely to say to me, you might help you to be a little bit more direct about what you want to know, but she will then give me some feedback on things that I can improve for next time, which I think is really helpful. So I'm going to answer yes, she can claim that in part, put that journal in, and then I can move on. So just to show you, this is how this kind of scenario works. I'm just going to show you as well what we're doing in challenge mode. So challenge mode is where you get to focus on specific skills that you want to build. We are really aware that there is this gap between qualification and being ready for the workplace and the kind of work that you're going to be doing. Now, this sort of readiness, I think, comes in two stages. There are the technical working paper style pieces of work that you need to be competent and confident to produce. There's also an element of entry level business awareness that is really important for trainees. And that's why we've built lots of beginner challenges, which cover things like the accounting environment or professional communication or critical thinking, how to handle AI, so that if you have trainees who are maybe just leaving school or haven't got any experience with the accounting world yet, they understand the importance of ethical behaviour, professional communication, confidentiality, know how to handle and know how to just spot when something isn't quite right. I think that's really it, isn't it? It's just the more exposure you have to these things, the more likely it is if something comes up, you're like, oh yeah, I've seen something about that before. I need to do something about that, or I need to speak to somebody. And until we've had that kind of awareness drilled into us through just experience, we can't do that. So we try to build as many of those kind of angles into this as possible. But we've also got working papers that you can build out with kind of model answers. What we're doing at the moment on the list of many things to do at the moment, I do want to update these. Somebody has fed back to me that the sample working papers we've supplied are images, which is because they're images of working papers that we've produced. But I think there's an opportunity here for us to give you a set of working papers that you can then fill in as a spreadsheet. So we're working on that. I think it's ready to go. It's just a case of us going back through the challenges, and I really want to get this voice mode out. In terms of scenarios to release, I'm just going to show you sort of the back end. This is where we manage all the content in the system. We are, in terms of sign off right now, we've got Heidi, who runs a cafe. This one is ready to release. Actually, this is ready to release. She has a cafe. She receives income online through a couple of different processors. One processor for online orders, another for her till system where she's making sales in the shop. There are transactions that need to be grossed up. We need to make sure fees are reflected in the accounts, that kind of thing. And we also need to analyze those sales a little bit so she can understand the answer to some questions that she's asking. We've got a sales ledger management scenario here as well that can be reviewed. And the new Amie Brennan is using the Xero Demo Company, and this is a great opportunity to practice Xero. This has all been completely updated, and I think I mentioned I've built an end-to-end guide on how to complete this scenario, and I'd be interested when this goes live if you let me know whether you need that kind of PDF workbook of do this step, this is what the TV looks like, or whether you feel comfortable working through it at your own pace using the videos? I don't know the answer to that, and it's really just understanding where it's best for us to be spending our time. So lots of cool things happening here. What else do I need to say? I think that's all. I'm going to go back to the point that, I had this conversation with a customer today, and they were wowed by how much we've improved the platform. And I'm really pleased to hear that, this is something that we're all working super hard on. It matters to all of us. Like, we want to get it right. And I think that, just making sure this is a product we're really proud of that actually can really make a difference for you. It's like our number one focus. One question that you might have that I just want to answer: if you're looking at getting a team account for your team, you've got trainees, something that isn't clear is that when you sign up on the platform, you need to reach out to us to create the accounts for your team members. We have to do that manually at the moment, and that's something that we'll need building out in the future. It has to be a manual process at the moment because we just haven't got the money to invest in building it out. It will come eventually. It's very easy. Drop us an email. We will add all of your users and we'll give everybody their logins. So that's a really simple fix. So if you're looking for a team account, sign up on the platform for your team account. That will give you access, and then let us know which users you need to have added to it. We've also got a dashboard. If you go to the heymonika.com website, there are lots of different things. You can see our status updates. You can see what our roadmap is, which scenarios are being built, reviewed, released, that kind of thing there as well. Any issues with things being down or any problems that are coming up. There's also a form on the website where you can raise an issue if you want to, but our email is always open and the team are checking that as well. And we've got a progress dashboard where you can see if you have a team license, your team is given a team name, an anonymous team name, and each user in your team is given an anonymous username. And actually we have anonymous usernames for everybody, so if you do want yours, drop us an email and we'll make sure you know what it is. But then every month we're updating this dashboard, and you can see which scenarios people have been attempting and how many people have passed how many things, but all in a completely anonymous way. So if you like a little bit of competition and you want to see how you're doing or how your team is doing, please go and have a look at that. It's all on our website. I think that's all. Thank you for listening to me. I'm super excited. I'd love your feedback. Let me know if there's something you want us to build. Let us know if there's something that you need to practice. Let us know if there's a feature you'd like us to add. Use the form on the website or drop us an email. We are here to help, and thank you. Have a great day. Oh, if you haven't tried Hey Monika yet, head to heymonika.com, sign up with the code FREEBIE, and you will get a month for free.